In 1321, something extraordinary happened. Something so extraordinary, it's currently affecting your life now. In 1321 in France, the last Cathar prefect or parfait was burned at the stake. After a voracious attempt by the church to exterminate all Cathars who are direct descendants of the Mary Magdalene and Yeshua lineage, they had gotten to the last one. This Cathar prefect or parfait had an unusual experience that is affecting our lives now. And it is the basis and the foundation for the release of my latest book, book number 15, Sacred Love in Sacred Times, The Oracle. Today, I'm going to be able to share with you a sacred transmission of the highest light to guide and direct your steps as we are in this sacred time and as we are entering the summer solstice for those in the northern part of the world. Of course, those in the southern part are experiencing winter. Either way, the solstice is a powerful shift in the frequency of our flow. And so we will be sharing with you a sacred transmission from Sacred Love in Sacred Times today that you can use to guide you through this next season. And again, this foundation all stems from the ancient time of 1321, the Cathars, direct descendants of Yeshua the Christ and Mary Magdalene, and we're about to get into it today. Welcome to Awakening the Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Heather Christian Strang. If you're new to me, in 2008, I had a quote unquote health crisis that led to almost dying, that led to being gifted with spiritual gifts after I made a deal with the divine to be of service to humanity, to the collective consciousness, and to this time of transformation that we are in. Since 2008, I have devoted my life to being of service to the divine and assisting as many souls, as well as my own soul, in our unification with our higher selves or goddess selves so that we may live in a more optimal divine way, and we may have a completely different experience on this earth that we have ever had before. Since 2008, I have served thousands of women and their families and assisting them in being their higher selves informed to live in out of matrix wealth, health, and love. For more from me, you can go to sacred-spirituality.org to receive free transmissions, meditations, and step into the sanctuary space that we have created. Okay, so do you know this story? This story about the last Cathar parfait or prefect who, as he was being burned at the stake, looked up to the heavens and smiled, which was obviously highly unusual given the circumstances. And he pronounced there in this public burning that in 700 years from that date, the green would return to the laurel. To the Cathars, this represented pure love. The laurel represented pure love, pure sacred love. And he spoke of a time that in 700 years, the good women and men would return to the earth, the descendants of that lineage who had been exterminated in the 12th and 13th centuries. Again, 11th, 12th, and 13th centuries. Again, this is all based on the earth linear time. We know time is non-linear, so we're just using this as, vague guides for us. But he saw, as he was completing his earth journey through that public execution, he saw that in 700 years, the good Christians, the good is what they were known as, the Cathars were known as, that we would return and that we would return at this time and we would be instrumental in supporting the earth and her transformation so that she could be inhabited by beings who are here for the purpose of love and no longer the purpose of harm. When I heard that story, when I started diving deeper into the Cathars, I knew I had several revelations, as I'm sure many of you might have had, about my own journey and experience with that. And it was then that I was given the guidance to compile 34 transmissions of the highest light to bring to you sacred love in sacred times. And these transmissions are channeled through my connection with Source, Goddess Mary Magdalene, Yeshua the Christ, and all of the highest light. This is an extraordinary time that we are living in. And if you feel a resonance with what I just shared, you may also be a descendant of the Cathar lineage, Goddess Mary Magdalene and Yeshua the Christ lineage. And you may be here for the purpose of supporting the restoration of sacred love onto the earth. In order to be a part of that restoration, we also need to be supporting our own frequency in holding the frequency of love as much of the time as we can, more and more and more of the time, so that when we walk into spaces, when we are just in our homes in the world, when we're out driving about or traveling about, that we are emitting a frequency of sacred love so powerful that the frequency around us has no other option but to shift to a higher dimension of consciousness from wherever it's at. And that is why we created this book, Sacred Love and Sacred Times, as well as its companion, the first book in the series, Radical Abundance and Radical Times. These transmissions are all part of the Preparing for the Golden Age series. We are in this time, we're preparing for the Golden Age. And these transmissions are here to assist you on your path so that you may hold a higher and higher frequency and be more and more connected to your true divine nature so that you can live that in your day-to-day life, therefore fulfilling your mission here on earth and being of true benefit and service to the earth and to yourself and your own soul. So we want you to have a summer of love, a summer of sacred love during these sacred times. And we want this to ripple in to the fall and the winter and the spring and on for as long as it goes. Today, we're going to bring to you and share with you a transmission of the highest light. I tuned in and asked Mary and Yeshua and all the highest light, what is the message that those that will be attracted to this podcast episode most need to hear? And the message that came through for you for this season is a time of sacred love. And that time of sacred love requires you to release your resistance. I can say that better. It requires you to love your resistances. And in that loving of your resistances, a transformation takes place, allowing you to hold a higher and greater frequency of sacred love in your own body temple. Therefore, again, emanating it everywhere you go, to everyone you meet, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Now, there is very practical divine wisdom here about love and relationship. We talk about the various dimensions of relationship you can experience. We have expanded transmissions here that talk about upgrading the marriage contract into what it's really meant to be. We talk about exquisite love, which is the next level after this. Everything you could imagine is in here about love. And the purpose of these transmissions is to keep supporting the fine tuning of your frequency. So your first time with some of these oracle messages and transmissions may be like, oh, okay, right? You're getting new information, but it's not really about the information. It's about the frequency that the words are holding. So I privately released a smaller version of this back in 2021 because the 700 years from 1321 was 2021. So I did a small private release to my community that sold out. We went through that sold out release and upgraded it. We took out whole pieces, we added whole pieces. Why? Because from 2021 to 2026, we have had a monumental shift in the frequency on the earth. And that monumental shift means that relationships are being done differently. The way that love is expressed is done differently. We are at a higher dimension of consciousness for those on this awakening path and for those who are descendants of the Mary Magdalene and Yeshua the Christ lineage, whether you're a spiritual descendant or a physical descendant. And so we are here to show up differently in how our relationships flow. You might have noticed there are massive changes taking place in how romantic relationships happen, how marriage happens. We're starting to see with the eyes of Source what these containers are and how to best use them in our life, and also to recognize the containers that have been created by the artificial matrix to enslave and entrap and keep you in samsara, recycling lifetime after lifetime, as opposed to ascending to your highest state of consciousness and to return to source and to all of the highest light. And what containers are really here for your love and relationship. And also understanding that just because you have a love connection with someone does not mean it needs to go into the container that the artificial matrix has created for you. That love may need to be in a different kind of container that the two individuals will work out and decide how to best create and what that will look like. So that's a little snippet of some of what's contained within these transmissions, not to mention how to be more loving in your day-to-day life. That is really what it's giving to you. So yes, you're going to get lots of wisdom about relationships and this next level of consciousness and what it looks like to be in the golden age. Little bits, we're preparing for it, and be in union, and what is that about, and where to put the love that you feel with others. That is in there. And ultimately, what this oracle is doing for you is upgrading your frequency so that you're more loving in all areas of your life, right? You might be complete with your karmic relationship contracts. And so you're not going to be going into a bunch of different relationships, but you do have your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the earth and the relationship with all the people you interact with in any given day. How can you be more loving in those relationships? You might be in a 30-year relationship that you know is really was at completion 15 years ago, but you've been too scared and too programmed by the matrix to stay in one place and stay in that entrapment. And so you're no longer able to ascend. And you may read these transmissions and receive this deep love frequency, and you may transform that relationship to a higher state of consciousness. Anything and everything is possible on this path when you are vibrating in that frequency. Now, we know peace is the highest frequency that there is, that is followed by enlightenment, but love gets us to all the good places, gets us to all the good things, meaning that is a jumping off point to then get to peace, to then get to enlightenment. So this is a powerful, powerful vibrational medicine, and you're going to get some awesome practical guidance and direction to support your relationships in all the manifestations in ways that they wish to be made manifest. All right, so we've got specific support for you for this time, for this summer season that we're going into. Now, my loves in Australia and New Zealand and other parts of the southern world, you will also be able to utilize this wisdom to guide you in your winter season. It's fascinating, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. So on this path of preparing for the golden age, we live seasonally. So we live in harmony with the energetic frequencies that each season contains. So we're not in the, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts, we're not in the attempt to enslave time and to micromanage it. We're not working with this hypothetical or perhaps distorted planetary system. We are working with the seasonal shifts and letting that guide us. So when we're going into the summer season, we're going into a time of maximum expansion. This is the time when you can get 6 hours of sleep, launch a new book, launch a new product, launch a new service, start a new relationship, start a new healthcare routine. Like, you have so much expanded capacity in the summer season, and we want you to take advantage of that. And in taking advantage of that, it is a powerful time in your journey, because we know even the way that the years are calculated is incorrect. So we are really letting ourselves move out of that calculation of the Gregorian calendar. Again, you can see previous podcast episodes about this, because that is a falsified system. Did you know in Ethiopia, it's 2018 right now? Yeah. So like, time is not able to be enslaved, although humans have done as much as they can to try to contain that. So we work seasonally for our highest benefit. So summer season is the most expansive season. It's when you can do so much, you have the bandwidth for it, because the energy of the earth was designed to support you with this. Okay, so each season has its own signature. For those of you that are in the southern part of the world, you're going into maximum contraction, the exact opposite of the maximum summer season. So that's the time to stay in, to go deep into your inner healing and reflection. When you're in summer season, you can do your inner healing and you can launch all the things, you can travel, you can do all of the things at once. Having that all go on at one time, you're going to have more bandwidth, more energetics. You're going to be held and supported in that. Whereas in the winter season, there may be times in your life where you as an individual are going to launch during the winter because that's just the divine guidance you've received. You you will also want to make sure you're getting like 10 to 12 hours of sleep during that time so that you're really nourishing yourself during that season. So again, this is a demonstration of what I've been shown of how we would live in the golden age. And of course, we're preparing for the golden age. So we're going to be working with the earth and living in harmony with these seasons. I've been trained in Chinese medicine. We do energetic acupuncture in my private practice, and we work with the Chinese medicine estimations around what the frequency is for each season. And so again, we're going into the summer season, which is that maximum expansion energy. So don't be afraid to plan a trip and plan a launch and do your deep healing work and get, maybe less sleep than you normally get because we've got more time during daylight. We've got all of the support from the earth to really go for it. Okay, so how do you best go for it in this summer season? Or for those of you in the southern part of the world, how do you go into that deep hibernation, deep introspection, deep self-healing mode and kind of cut out the distractions? Well, your message today is in order to do that, you need to do one of the most annoying, cringy things ever. You need to love your resistance. By the way, have you seen our sweet bookmarks? I don't know if that's, no, it's not going to show on the screen. Anyway, let's go into this message for you because I get that that's an annoying piece of guidance to receive, loving your resistance, but we're going to go deeper into this in this transmission to attune you to that frequency so that you can really feel what does that mean, loving my resistance, and what does that look like, and receive this vibrational medicine to support you. So throughout this season, you recognize your expansion into greater love includes loving those aspects of you that feel resistant, that feel like, no, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to hear that, or like, go away. But that is the invitation, is to go deeper into love. Again, I get that from a human point of view, that might feel annoying. So we're going to give you more specifics here to really guide you so you can be masterful in this. So I invite you, if you're not driving or operating heavy equipment or rearing children right now, that you can, unless the whole family wants to go do a nice little meditation here, that you stop whatever you're doing, you close your eyes, take some nice deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling out of your mouth. You can sit or lie down in a meditative position. You want to put both hands on your heart, whatever feels good to you, or hand on your belly, hand on the womb, hand on the heart, and just let yourself receive this. The head, don't let the head brain get too involved, especially for the first time. I want you to just receive and just notice what phrases, what words catch your attention, where your body like softens and relaxes more, where it might tense up. That's all the vibrational medicine doing its work and giving you more clarity about where you are in this flow. Okay, so here we go. Love is the only thing that can quell fully the resistances within you. Can you believe that a part of you that has previously been hurt cares so much about you? Can you understand that a part of you sees whatever is currently before you as potentially a point of harm for you? And this part of you simply desires for you to be safe and protected and loved. So we're speaking about the ego mind. The ego mind is just trying to protect you. It just wants you to stay small and safe and not have anything happen to you, or go big and large and just go for it and not have any sort of alignment. It truly is loving, as love is the only thing that can quell fully the resistances within you. What will serve you above all else whenever your resistance is present or makes itself known to you is to first let yourself feel the sensation of the resistance in your body. So take a nice deep breath. You're going to allow yourself to feel the sensation of the resistance. So where do you feel that? Find where it lives in your body by doing a brief body scan. Then laser focus your attention on that sensation. So you're just going to laser focus if that sensation feels crunchy or constricted or stingy or burning, like whatever words that you notice, you're going to laser focus your attention on that sensation using whatever words came up for you. And you're going to ride the waves of the sensation and follow it as deeply as you can in your body. Go ahead and do that now. Nice deep breaths. You're going to find where there's a crunchy sensation or a sensation of resistance. You're going to laser focus on that sensation, and you're going to ride the wave of it until it dissolves. And then you're going to bless these sensations and bless this part of you that wishes for nothing more than for you to be safe and protected. That's why your body is feeling anything. It just wants you to be safe and protected. It is an innate, wise vehicle and temple of the light. We've just given you an overview on this practice that we go deeper into in our healing modality. You can visit sacred-spirituality.org/coach certification to receive more details about our spiritual healer training that takes you deeper into this. For now, we want you to work with this very light version of it so that you can start to get more attuned to the somatic frequency, the sensations in your body mind, because that helps you get closer to love. Of course, the true you knows that your safety lies not in protecting yourself from quote unquote others, but in anchoring firmly into your divinity and living from that place. After fully feeling these sensations in your body, we then wish for you, if you're still feeling the resistance, to get curious about why whatever is before you may be of threat to a part of you that has previously been hurt before. How might whatever new concept or belief or guidance or next logical step is presenting as a potentiality of harm to a wounded version of yourself? You may wish to journal about this or talk about it out loud by yourself. We do not necessarily recommend talking about this with a friend or someone close to you, as their desires for you and interpretations can often get in the way of the natural insights and guidance that will flow to you when you begin to dialogue with yourself on this topic. So once we're complete here, we want you to do a free write, a journaling on why might a part of you be trying to protect you from whatever it is that you're having resistance to, and really start to uncover that this knowing that resistance is always an aspect of the wounded self, the ego mind that wants to keep you safe and protected. So the intent is good, but intent does not necessitate impact, correct? So we're going deeper into this. And then you're going to do some free writing about, I wonder why my wounded self or my ego mind would want to be protecting me from by giving me this resistance. This resistance is not showing me not to do something. It's showing me that there's more there that needs love and attention. Your curiosity about what lives within you allows for an opening to occur that lends itself to greater insight and clarity. This resistance wanted to protect you, and now you can give this part of yourself space to be known and to look at potentialities that may exist beyond a "I'm going to be hurt" scenario. This practice allows this part of you that has previously been wounded to feel more secure, knowing you're not willy-nilly, as it were, diving into a harmful experience. So by giving this attention, slowing down, feeling the sensations in your body, getting curious about why some part of yourself would be trying to protect you with this feeling of resistance, you are actually creating more secure attachment in your body mind. You're letting your body mind know, like, I'm not just going to ignore this. I am here for you. We're going to work through this. We're going to be able to resolve what this resistance is and then see where we're led. Tune in to the age that you were when wounded in this way. So if you can see this wounded part of you, oh, excuse me. So we went into this wounded part of you creating more security by showing up for it. My apologies, I skipped a paragraph that is very important here. So you've done your free write. You may, after feeling the sensations of resistance in your body and doing the curious dialoguing with the free write, feel complete. You may have seen what needed to be seen, and then you may feel at ease and at peace, once again clear in your direction and next steps. However, if after feeling the feelings and doing your curious dialoguing, you do not feel at ease and peace, now there's more to do. It may be helpful for you to connect to the wounded part of you that is needing more attention. We recommend staying with the wounded part of you from this lifetime, as that is the most grounding and supportive framework to work from, unless you receive guidance otherwise. So we could work with wounded parts of the self from other lifetimes, but the guidance is let's start with addressing the wounded self from this incarnation. So tune into the age that you were when you were wounded in this way, that then needed to create this strong desire to self-protect. As Christian has led many of you through in her programs and in one-on-one experiences, talk with this part of yourself. Find out what this one needs to say or explain about their experience. Simply be present to whatever they share without interrupting or sharing your present self-commentary. Then let this part of you know that from now on, present day you and your higher wisdom are going to handle this area of your life. And that while you so very much appreciate this part of yourself looking out for you, you are no longer in need of this. From there, we recommend having this part of you taken to a nurturing scene so that they can be present and playful and no longer have their attention trying to protect or control your present day experience. So you'll do like an envisioning and take that wounded part of you to a beautiful, nurturing place where they can be. We know that for some, this is outside of a real mode of comfort. But as Christian has learned, this type of self-healing allows for a deep integration of wholeness within your current body mind and allows those parts of yourself from this lifetime, as well as potential soul wounds from long ago, to have a resting place of peace. So you see that? We get to the love opens to the peace. This practice of self-healing is so deeply nourishing and comforting for you on so many levels, returning you to your natural state of peace and therefore without any resistant forces operating within you. It can feel at times, we know, as if the resistance is pulling you this way and that. And we want to assure you that it's only lovingly trying to protect you. The only way to meet everything at this level in your evolution is with equally matching amounts of love. So lovingly care for yourself in this way and watch as your resistance dissolves and the truth that wishes to be made known by you can be made known. We are loving you ever so much as you allow yourself to stretch and grow beyond that which you were before and have ever been. And so it is. It is so. You feel it? It's so, I mean, and this is just a snippet of all the transmissions in here, like so soothing, so loving, so giving you practical guidance, so giving you vibrational medicine, so giving you healing as you just received here. So we invite you to follow this practice. Whenever you notice resistance coming up during the season, be with it fully, those sensations in your body. Do some free writing, do some journaling to uncover, like, why might my ego mind or my wounded self be trying to protect me by bringing up this resistance? That alone might do the trick, transmute everything. If there's more, you can go in and work with this wounded aspect of yourself and support them in coming back into wholeness. This is just a snippet of the modality that we teach in our spiritual healing certification and training. I received this modality back in 2015. I have been doing, I mean, there's much more in depth that we go into in the training, but I've been doing this modality, which you're getting a little baby snippet of, for myself, for others since 2015, and it is truly transformative in transforming all of your relationships with yourself, with the divine, with your beloved, with your family, with your children, with your nieces and nephews, with your community. It is truly extraordinary what comes through and comes from this deep level of loving. So if you are called to, and you know you're here to be a spiritual healer, you have a deep connection with Goddess Mary Magdalene and Yeshua the Christ, and you are ready to step into your next level of preparing for the golden age, be sure to join us for our spiritual healing training and certification. And be sure to pick up your copy of Sacred Love and Sacred Times, the Oracle. We have it on special for the launch, and then it will go back to its regular pricing. So be sure to claim it as soon as you can and add this to your library of preparing for the golden age. I love this remembrance of love will lead us to peace. We have to start with love, and we have to, and where that starts is by loving the self, loving the body, loving the sensations, being fully present for them, creating secure attachment within yourself, letting your body temple know there is nothing that you can feel that is too much for me. I'm going to show up for every single bit of it. That is one of the greatest acts of self-love that creates secure attachment that ripples into all of your relations and provides such peace, because that love takes you to that higher dimension of peace. And the more you practice peace, the more you then are ascending into your enlightenment. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and thank you for being on this path of the light. We're so grateful to that last Cathar prefect or parfait who sacrificed his life in 1321. We know that soul has returned, of course. We have returned to blanket the earth with a high frequency of love. And we can go more into what that looks like. Certainly, Sacred Love and Sacred Times is going to give you more details about this, what this love looks like. It requires fierceness. It requires leaving your comfort zone. It requires taking actions that will support your ascension. And there are also times when it is really yummy and cozy and delicious. So all the flavors of love, we are here to embody and share that energy and shine that light so that more souls can awaken as we also awaken more deeply. If you'd like more from me, you can always go to sacred-spirituality.org. Thank you again for being here. It's always a pleasure to be able to share this divine wisdom with you. I am so excited about our new number 15 book, Sacred Love and Sacred Times, being out. Be sure to get your copy, and I look forward to sharing with you again. May you have your most blessed summer of love yet. Keep me posted on your journey. You know I love hearing from those of you who read our books or in our trainings and certifications. We love celebrating you and your ascension. May all light beings be free. And as always, I'm your host, Dr. Heather Christian Strang, and this has been Awakening. We love you.